So June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and my name is Patrick, and I'd like to address some of the warning signs that you may be in a mental health crisis or approaching one, as well as some things that you can do. I'm on my ruck in the park, so please excuse me while I adjust my backpack. But yeah, let's jump in. So a little bit of information about me. I've been on a healing journey the past almost 3 years now. Was building a business for a good 10-year period while I was in a marriage. Burned out. My ex-wife wanted a divorce, and my business partner wanted out of our arrangement and bought me out of that business, none of which is anything that I wanted, and it was very emotional and difficult to deal with. And I will say that it's made me stronger in a lot of ways, because it's forced me to look at myself and to deal with some of my issues. And so that's what I'll share with you. So hopefully you don't have to make those mistakes, or at least you can be conscious and aware, and not get taken by surprise and blindsided like I was. So, jumping right in, I would say some red flags. Anger, agitation, irritation, overreacting is, that's a sign that your nervous system is on overdrive, that it is flared up. Think about your nervous system as a sore. Like if you have a sore, like your body, like a sore spot on your body, or broken bone or something like that, it's not going to take much to irritate that broken bone or that sore spot, right? That's what happens with your nervous system when you continually cause it stress, and you're not doing self-care, treating yourself, you're not finding relaxing, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not doing the things you need to do to let your nervous system rest. Some of it is trauma that we've been carrying since childhood, and different experiences that we've had in our life, or different ways that we know how to react or don't know how to react, right? So anger, is one of the big ones. Are you getting upset in traffic? Are you getting easily irritated by employees, clients, your wife, your kids? If it doesn't take much to get you riled up, you might be in a mental health crisis. The other thing is fear and anxiety. Do you suffer from feelings that something bad is going to happen, that you don't trust people? Your imagination has maybe gotten out of hand. Maybe you think your wife's cheating on you, or that your wife's going to leave you, or your client's cheating you, or whatever it is, right? Or you're all the different things. Do you find yourself not able to engage and go out in public, and wanting to kind of retreat a little bit, right? So anxiety and fear, are awful, man, and they can prevent you from living. They can cause you a lot of problems, cause a lot of projection onto other people, which stresses them out, right? Because whatever you're feeling, the people around you feel too, whether it be your wife or your kids, your employees, your boss, whatever, right? They're feeling that, whether you know it or not, or they know it or not. Are you drinking excessively, right? Do you have to drink every night after you get off of work? Do you have to have a drink to sit down with your family at dinner? You have to have a drink before you go out. Do you drink every night? Do you think about drinking when you're not drinking? Right? Are you over drinking? That's classic, man. And drinking goes in, I'll just put it in with drugs too. I mean, because drugs are the same thing. Alcohol is a drug. So if you're abusing THC, Adderall, Xanax, whatever it is, if you need something outside of you to calm yourself down, that's a red flag, because you're relying on something else to calm you down. It's addiction of sorts, right? And the same would be true for food. If you're overeating or undereating, right? If you use food as a coping mechanism, and this is not. This is when you abuse food. I think it's the same thing as people do when they abuse sex or alcohol. I mean, it's changing the way they feel, and it's giving you feel-good chemicals. So yeah, all those things are kind of in the same space. What are some other things? Are you getting enough sleep, right? So sleep is very important. I mean, we need to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And that's not a cliche thing, man. It's a reality. Some people say they need less sleep. Okay, fine. I think the people that are taking care of themselves probably need less sleep, right? They're not drinking. They're probably eating properly. They're probably exercising. And I do believe that maybe they need less sleep. But man, I know I exercise, I take care of myself, I eat right, and I still need 7 to 8 hours of sleep to function properly. Always have. So it's something to look at. And I feel like those are some of the main things that men deal with, right? You know, anger being at the top of that list. And, you know, are you having some damaged relationships in your life? Have you gotten into it with people? Like me, one of the things I used to do is I just get into it with everybody, whether it be an employee, coworker, you know, my wife, my client, family members, old friends. Like, I'm like, wow, and not everybody can be that much of a jerk, right? Like, well, maybe it's me. And sure enough, yeah, you know, it was me. So, yeah, but things that you can do, you know, talking about like, you know, what can you do? Well, first thing is just recognizing the fact that you're struggling, right? That you have some of those things that I talked about, and that you want to do something about it. And it's not that difficult, but it's just a matter of having awareness. That's where it starts. And paying attention to your behaviors. And one of the first things that I would recommend is just making 10 to 15 minutes of quiet time for yourself a day. And you could do whatever you want with that time, as long as it doesn't involve your phone. Meaning no scrolling on the internet or social media or watching videos. It just means sitting with yourself. 10 to 15 minutes. Now you can put headphones on and listen to meditative type music. Try to find some listen to that inner voice. Just allow that helps your nervous system calm down. So you can call it meditation, but it doesn't have to be like woo woo, oh, right? Whatever, right? It could just be you sitting and being for 10, 15 minutes. And that's it, right? So, but you just don't want to be on your phone. And try to do that once a day. At least, if not twice. Usually first thing in the morning is what people recommend. I try to have that time in the morning and in the evening. So right before bed. Getting out in nature, which is one of the things that I did that I think helped me the most when I was going through some of the hardest times of my life, as of the past couple of years, right? I put on this backpack. At the time, it was 40 pounds. And I just walked around this park that I'm in now. And I did that 3-4 days a week, sometimes more, until I was exhausted. You know, now I got 60 pounds. I've worked myself up to it. But, you know, you can get a rucksack. You could just get an old backpack, put like 20 pounds in there, and just go for a walk in nature in a park or on a trail somewhere. And just be. I like to put on headphones. I forgot my headphones today, but I'll put on headphones, listen to some music I like. Sometimes I listen to meditation music. Sometimes I listen to, you know, stuff I like, 80s, you know, Depeche Mode or whatever. You know, it just depends on the day. And yeah, so exercise, I guess it goes along with exercise. Now, exercise doesn't mean just going to a gym. I mean, going to the gym and lifting weights is important. And I think that's great. And I recommend it once or twice a week. But I wouldn't make it your only routine. Find walking, maybe some kind of sport, whether it be a softball, soccer club, whatever, something that you may like. I like jiu-jitsu. I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know, that allows me to really get out a lot of angst and learn something else to train myself, train my mind, train my body for self-defense, but also mentally, because, you know, it's not an easy thing. It's not easy carrying a 60 pounds. I kill my neck right now. But yeah, finding some exercise, you know, mixing up your exercise, right? Not doing the same thing over and over. I like martial arts and jiu-jitsu because I believe it is empowering. And when I say that's empowering, it empowers your the masculine in you, right? And I think most of our problems in society that come from men are men trying to be men and exerting their power and control, whether it be over others, over their wife, over their kids. They may control people with money. Maybe they control people with fear, right? And those are the, or maybe they're overly aggressive, things like that. I mean, that is not healthy masculinity. It's weak men that haven't learned to embody true masculinity. Sorry if that's you. I'm just here to tell you and help you. But at the end of the day, it's like when you train martial arts, you train to embody, you can handle yourself either on the mat with your partners or on the street. There's a certain amount of quiet confidence in that, right? It also translates into business, into all areas of your life. And it allows true strength to shine through. And I think if more men were to take on the responsibility of training themselves, training their minds, controlling their emotions, learning how to deal with things, healing themselves, we'd have, it'd be the start of a much more healed world, I believe. But yeah, so, other things, right? Like, well, let's just jump right in psychedelics. One of the things that helped me and is a part of my story is psychedelics, particularly ketamine-assisted therapy. There are other ones as well, but those are, illegal for that kind of use. But they can be found in ceremonial practices with trained facilitators, and most law enforcement are not interested in pursuing people that are in that space because, well, for one, there's a lot of law enforcement that do underground psychedelic ceremonies. I don't know if you know that. FBI, CIA, local law enforcement, firefighters, first responders, all that. They've got a lot of trauma, and so they've had to seek help. So yeah, but yeah, if you want to do it legally, you can get ketamine, and recommend 6 treatments, and it'll allow you to, heal your nervous system and show you things about yourself that you didn't know, right? Reveal the subconscious mind and what's in there. And a lot of our behavior is from our subconscious. And so we're not even aware of why we're doing what we're doing, right? It's like Jesus said, God, please forgive them. They know not what they do. And that's been, I'm not a religious person. I mean, it doesn't matter what I am. But I do believe there's something more than just creation and, evolution. I believe there's something that we cannot grasp, right? It's kind of like a fish in the ocean doesn't necessarily know what this area is and that they're a fish. Or can you imagine being a fish and being caught and reeled up and being like, what is this, right? So I think that's the same way about us as humans, and it's really hard to understand with our brains exactly all of that. But not to get into all that, but I do believe that is one of the things that has helped me the most, is to, when I'm looking to forgive, which a lot of times men will stuff things, right? They'll carry things around. They'll carry around anger, guilt, shame, resentment. And so it's important to let things go, because resentment is like taking poison and hoping someone else dies, right? So it's like, the best way that I've learned to forgive is to be like, yeah, they know not what they do. Because I truly believe in the best in humans. And if they know their impact and behavior, and why they're doing things and how it affects other people, I believe that they wouldn't do those things. I do. And I do think there's probably, a small percentage of psychopaths that are completely aware of what they're doing, and that's their thing. And that's they serve a purpose in our society. Everyone serves a purpose. I don't think there's any such thing as a bad person. Like, people may do crappy things, but they shouldn't be defined by them. Right? So, oh my God, my neck's killing me. I gotta wrap this up. But yeah, man, if you, obviously psychedelic therapy, where else? What else would I recommend? Talk therapy, talk to a friend. If you're abusing drugs and alcohol, go to a AA or NA meeting. Find support. Know that you're not alone. And when you see that you're not alone, that makes all the difference in the world. That makes healing that much easier. So, but yeah. If you have any questions, man, I encourage you to reach out to me, send me an instant message, leave a comment, and yeah, I'd love to help you out. Take care. God bless.